Mr. Bryant, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number, please.
Reggie D Bryant, 462-613.
Yes, sir. And do you have a parole revocation questionnaire there with you?
No, ma'am.
We're going to put it up on the screen.
Oh, hold on.
We'll put it up. All right. Is that your signature? It's not dated, but is that your signature at the bottom of that page?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Based on the information contained in that form, you're not eligible for appointed counsel this morning. Are you ready to proceed with your revocation hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, we're ready to take it in. I'm going to read the allegations against you, Mr. Bryant, after which you'll enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. And then I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Jackson, seated to my left. She'll ask you some questions, okay, before we reach a decision. Mr. Bryant, you're accused of violating the conditions of your parole, specifically condition number 4. You engaged in criminal activity as evidenced by your arrest on November 29, 2022 by the Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office on a warrant that was issued on December 28, 2020 by Judge David Arsenault for battery of a dating partner, strangulation. Court document was also provided, which included a bill of information filed January 5th, 2023 for the offense of battery of a dating partner, strangulation. That bill was amended per the victim's consent to simple battery on April 5th, 2023. On May 8, 2023, the charge was null-prossed on motion of the district attorney's office. How do you plead to violating condition number 4?
Not guilty.
Okay. And then condition number 10, you're behind over 25 payments on your supervision fees and owe $4,998. How do you plead to violating condition 10?
Guilty.
Okay, would you answer Mrs. Jackson's questions?
All right, Mr. Bryant, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, ma'am.
How long have you had a parole hold on you?
I think since March 21st, I think, or 22nd.
And you were arrested in November of 22. They didn't put a hold on you at the time of your arrest,
No, ma'am.
so you bonded out of jail,
Yes, ma'am.
and they got a warrant, a parole warrant, and you were arrested on the parole warrant. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was in March of this year. You were arrested for domestic abuse, battery, or battery dating partner with strangulation, which was dismissed on May 8th of 2023. But I want to hear your version of what happened on November 29th, 22. What's your version?
Ma'am, I wasn't even around. I don't know what happened. I wasn't even around at this time. I don't know. I don't even know what a charge. I didn't know I had a warrant. I didn't know none of this.
So you deny that you had any contact with Ms. Cole on the date of your arrest, or just prior to your arrest?
I had no contact with her.
Then why do you think she would say that you committed battery on her?
I guess jealous. I mean, me and her been separated for almost 3 years now. I haven't been around. I use my Marshana, my girlfriend. I use her to go through her to get my daughter and stuff like that.
So you have a child with Ms. Cole?
Yes, ma'am.
And how old is that child?
She's doing fine.
Okay, how old is she?
Oh, she 2 years old. She'll be 3 December 2nd. And we always have.
Well, when she reported this to the police, and actually the date that I see on the offense report is Wednesday, December 23rd of last year. She said that you all were a couple, you've been together a couple of years, have been living together, that you and she also just had a newborn child together. 2020. This was in 2020. I'm sorry. So I'm confused. Yeah, I have to help.
I think it's the same, all the same
Yeah, it's
incident.
the same one.
It happened in 2020, but he was not arrested.
All right, well, this was in 2020. I'm sorry, this was December 23rd of 2020, when you and Miss Cole were together and you all had just had a child together. So it was not in 2022. It was in December 23rd of 2020.
Miss Cole had it. When Miss Cole had my had the child, we wasn't together. I just was going to the hospital after she had the child. I wasn't with we wasn't together.
So were you in her house on December 10th of 2020?
No, ma'am.
And so there was no incident where you were using her vehicle without her permission?
No, ma'am. I don't know what none of this. No, ma'am. And I have proof of that I wasn't around her at these times, on these dates.
Well, it's gonna be pretty hard, you know, most people don't have recollections of specific dates almost 2.5 years ago. I'll accept that you're saying you weren't around, but I'm doubtful that you can document any specific date. And the charges were dismissed, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But a protective order was issued. Why was a protective order issued?
Ma'am, I don't even know nothing about none of this.
Sir, now listen to me. You don't get a protective order issued unless either you're present in court and you sign the protective order, or you serve with protective order. I was a judge for 28 years and I've done a lot of protective orders. So on the day that did you go to court and they dismissed the charges in court?
Yes, ma'am.
And that would have been the date, sir, that they had you sign a protective order.
I didn't.
Served it on you in court.
I never signed no protected order. Not of my knowledge.
Well, again, it says on May 15th of 2023, the charges were now crossed.
Yes, ma'am.
A protective order was issued.
All I know about is the charges was down process, but I never knew nothing about no protected order. Cause like I haven't been around her in almost like 3 years.
Well, I'm not saying, I'm saying in May, you went to court and they
Yes,
dismissed
yeah.
the charges. They had you sign a protective order. That's just kind of the way it works. Because they got you right there. The judge, goes over the conditions of the protective order, tells you how many feet to stay away from her, tells you how long the protective order is in effect for, and then you sign it and you're given a copy of it in court.
I know. On May 8th, when I had a court day, I wasn't even present in court.
It was May 15th.
May 15th.
That's the date.
My last court date was May 8th. Eric Santana had represented me, and I wasn't even present in court.
What about supervision fees? Why weren't you paying your supervision fees, Mr. Bryant?
Excuse me?
You're almost $5,000 behind in supervision fees. My question is, why were you not paying the supervision fee?
I had child support situations that me and the planners, officer, the planners have discussed at the moment.
And
We discussed that that I was gonna catch up on the fees, and I also tried to give him $700 when I got arrested when I had the parole warrant. Me and him discussed that I was trying to catch up on my fees.
well, what, I mean, how much were you paying in child support?
$650, $700 a month. And I was in arrears for like $7,000.
What kind of work were you doing, Mr. Bryant?
Offshore, I was working for,
How much did you make an hour?
I was making like $14 an
Okay.
hour. And the work was, sometimes we'll work, sometimes we wouldn't, it'd be fluctuated up and down.
Fine, that's all I think.
We have with us Ms. Morshana Malone, who wants to say a few words. Ms. Malone, what would you like us to know?
She on mute, huh?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I don't, nothing really besides, since Reggie been in jail for 4 months, I am the one that contacts Shay. I'm the one that does everything. I have the kid now. I take care of the kid while he's in jail. And the order form she was explaining, I was the one in court, but he didn't show up in court on his last court date when they threw it out. So that's why he probably don't know about the protective order.
Why wasn't he in court on his last court date?
I'm not sure. I was there, but I'm not sure why they didn't bring him. They didn't bring him there. I'm not sure why.
And when you say you have the kid now, what kid are you referring to?
I have his child. I take care of his child.
Was Miss Cole?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the child physically present with you right now?
She's at daycare because last time I came to court, they said I couldn't have her. So I didn't want to have no interruptions. I didn't know it was going to be a Zoom like this. So, and I know if she would have seen her dad, she would have cut up on the phone.
Who said you couldn't have her? You telling me?
When I brought her the last time, the court said I couldn't have her present at all. I couldn't have her. I couldn't bring her in there. So we had to sit outside. So I waited to after, and the lawyer came outside and told me that everything was dismissed and everything was everything.
That was on the day he went to court. My question is, you sat there and you said, well, I have his child.
Mm-hmm.
And you're told you can't have his child. So, I mean, you can't. So you're giving me contradictory statements.
I take care of his kid. I didn't want her here while I was doing this because I never did this before. So I don't know. And I didn't want her on the phone or, because if she would have seen her dad, she was going to cut up real bad. So I just dropped her off on daycare on St. Louis Street.
Ms. Malone, stop calling. Where did she sleep last night? Get back up. What's the child's name?
Reggie Bryant.
Well, where did Reggie sleep last night?
Reggie sleeps with me.
Where did she sleep last night?
She sleeps with me in my bed.
Actually, where she normally sleeps, I said, where did she sleep last night?
She slept with me. I'm sorry. She slept with me.
Why do you have a child and not Miss Cole?
because she works and she cries to be here. So, and she asks me for stuff and I just do it. Like I take care of the daycare bill, I take care of. I just do it while he's locked up until he come home.
That's all I have.
So you keep the child every day, every night.
Yeah, and if she call and say she want to see her, see the baby or want to spend some time with the baby, I meet with her and she'll come get her. But most likely she'd be here.
All right, thank you. Mr. Bryan, is there anything you want to say to us before we vote?
I mean, I've been sitting in jail. I'm going on 5 months for no reason. Like I'm innocent, and I'm just going through a lot. Like I'm going through a lot right now. I haven't been in trouble in 16 years. I've been out 8 years, and I mean, here you go.
All right, we're prepared to vote. Mrs. Jackson?
All right. Mr. Brown, I'm gonna tell you, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what's going on with you, with your ex-girlfriend, with current girlfriend. My vote today is going to be do not revoke, return to supervision, become current with the supervision group, and abide by the conditions of any protective orders that may be. Mr. Freeman.
I concur with Ms. Jackson. The reprimand release the tanker. Abide by the protective order.
All right, how long you think it'll take you to become current on your fees while you're still paying as you go?
Not long, ma'am. I got my bosses in. I still
Tell
keep
me,
it.
just tell me, how long?
2 to 3 months.
We'll give you 6.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
My vote is the same for the same reasons. Do not revoke
Yes, ma'am.
and become current with your fees and abide by any protective order. Would you like to use that?